I'll entertain the motion to approve the agenda. Okay. Give up.
No, it's not public comment.
You gotta approve the agenda.
It's okay. You have to approve the agenda.
Yeah. I'll entertain a motion to approve the
I've got
agenda.
an amendment. I remember the word. I think I give you.
It's last, or, it's the hand and you record those around. There is some. I'll give you.
It's, I think it's for Michelle Shipley. They're doing an unveiling of the new mural on Main Street, and they're requesting funds. So we'll put that as number 17.
Any more changes to the agenda? Entertain a motion to approve the agenda with the
So moved.
Second.
approval of, I'll entertain a motion to approve of the minutes of special regular board meeting, May 6, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion for budget workshop board meeting, May 6, 2021.
Motion to approve.
I second it.
Unanimous.
Entertain a motion for a special board meeting proposed budget, May the 19th, 2021.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Unanimous.
Okay. Now then, motion to open up public hearing for the proposed 2021-2022 budget.
Motion to open public hearing for proposed 21-22 budget.
I get a second.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Okay. Does anyone here have anything on the, in reference to the proposed 2021-22 budget that has been laying on the table for 10 business days? None appearing, I'll entertain a motion to accept the proposed 2021-2022 budget.
We gotta close the public hearing.
Okay.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Okay. Entertain a motion to adopt the proposed 2021-2022 budget.
That's in new business. That's a new business too.
Oh, we,
Yeah, we gotta do public
okay,
comment.
alright. Okay. Entertain a motion to open up public comment.
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay,
Who wants to go
Public
first?
comment?
Okay, John.
This is the mural that's going on the county extension building. And the artist will be here in
I've seen that.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
And it'll take him 1 week to do the work.
That looks good.
I have a phone conversation with the artist and the manager set for tomorrow at noon. So if anybody has any questions or anything that they'd like me to ask before they come out to do this work, let me know. You saw that. Everybody else? There's your mural that's going on. Look right now. Got it? All right. So if anybody has any questions to ask of the artist or something, let me know.
Okay.
I've got a conversation with them tomorrow.
All right, thank you, John.
Okay,
Me?
you got the floor.
All right, thank you. So it's good to be back with you guys. I'll keep it brief. I know you guys got busy. I'm here to extend my regrets, actually, on the building. We were ready when you guys had to wait, and then you guys were ready, and our lives kind of fell apart. I waited as long as I could. Like, we didn't make this final decision until I left to come here because I was holding out. Like, it's a partnership, so I would like to still go ahead and see it happen, but he's more cautious, he's the wise part and I'm the risk taker. Essentially, we lost a good percentage of our cushion that we were relying on in this transition. Our price of our roaster, which we've ordered, went up. Price of our cost of our beans, everything has gone up. And supply chains are kind of touchy. Construction costs have gone way up. So he's just wanting to extend the amount of time that we're operating out of the concession stand, which we do have. Our manufacturer's permit is set for August, so we'll be inspected, hopefully be able to sell in August. You'll start seeing us. Even if something goes wrong, I don't think there's anybody that says we can't give away some free samples at the fall festival or somewhere. So you'll start seeing us around. So we're coming. I graduate in December. I hope something else works out with the building. We don't want to leave any hard feelings, bad tastes in our mouth. Ellen especially, put in that hard work on the lease and answered all my questions. Ellen, I learned a lot. Thank you very much for the education. I'll put it to use. Anyway, we appreciate you guys, and we're ready to come home.
Anyone else want to public comment?
Did the sheriff's department, did they send y'all a proposal for this?
They did. They sent it to us after their meeting with the commissioners and the group that was down there.
Yeah.
And we looked at it, and it was over $300,000
For 1 year?
for 1 year.
For 3 people.
And
And
for
you
for us to do that, we would have to go up on the millage rate 30 cents from where it is 60 now.
Do they get a breakdown of
There
why?
was 3 officers,
300,000?
equipment. It was cost per officer, including salary, FICA, insurance, and retirement, was $52,236. Cost of vehicle and equipment, $50,000, and officer equipment was $2,000. So that's $104,000 per officer, and they requested 3. That's $312,708 for 3 officers. And our general operating budget is $600,000 for the town. So we would have to go up 30 cents on the millage rate to even, and then our town, they have a hard time paying their taxes anyway. Because they pay double taxes. They also pay county taxes, which is, I think, 65, Becky? Yeah, 65. So we're just gonna, I told Dennis it was probably too late in this budget to even, we're gonna try to give them some money later on. It won't be that substantial though. The town can't afford that. And our people, our taxpayers can't afford that.
Has the town ever thought about starting their own?
Yeah, we'd have to go up on the millage rate a lot.
But
But it'd be over $1 million to start a police department.
as far as our thing is, 80% of the calls right now are inside the city limits. And I know y'all voted to put alcohol in the ballot.
Yeah,
So-
let the voters
And,
choose.
that's right, and more, but let the city voters choose, right?
Yes.
Okay. So us as a county, we live out in the county. We have no say so in it. But our tax dollars are paying to patrol the city.
So is the city
How is that fair
residents.
to us?
The city
We are-
residents
we
are
are
also
too,
paying
though.
county taxes. We pay both.
Yeah, you sure are. But if since y'all are paying both, why does the county not get to vote too? Because that's bringing more problems.
That would, you
in
have
our
to take it
county.
up with the commissioners
Yeah.
about that, because they don't want control about the voters for the county.
And me personally, I understand that's a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
$300,000 for 3 guys. I understand that. But the city needs to be paying their part as far as law enforcement in the city.
And this is what he proposed that
Yeah.
our part was.
Yeah, and I agree that's high.
That's high.
I'm not saying that's not.
I would
That's,
think it'd be more beneficial for them to utilize the cars they already have and the equipment they already have and just put some funding toward them.
do y'all?
That'd be a whole
How much
lot
do y'all
cheaper.
give the sheriff's department now?
No,
Do y'all pay any on the sheriff's department or the sheriff's salary?
no,
Well,
Yeah.
our taxes do, right?
yes.
Our taxes,
County taxes pays for
our
all, of it,
county taxes.
which we pay for both, again.
County and city.
Yeah,
But as far as a designated fund from the city to our sheriff's
no, we
department,
looked at some funds in the previous administration, and he never brought us a number, of what items or what he may need.
Yeah.
Now, we can fund like equipment and stuff, I don't think we'll be able to do this.
if it were me, I would say no. I'm not denying that. You know what I mean?
But I mean, far as equipment, we can look at maybe buying some equipment or something.
I mean, what if you funded the salary of just one officer? That would go a long way, and with the utilization of the current cars and the current equipment that they already have.
We'd have to go up on the millage rate still, because that's $104,000 for one officer. So, we're kinda stuck. I don't feel like our taxpayers, because they're already paying county taxes for protection from the sheriff's office with our services. We all pay the taxes.
As far as us as county, living in, paying county taxes, most of what we're paying for is in city limits. You see what I'm saying? 80% of the calls are inside the city limits.
I understand that.
Is there a flat dollar, a flat dollar amount that the town of Robbinsville could offer to the sheriff's department to?
Well, we was gonna, because we they're right now at the end of our budget, and that's what I told Dennis, that we probably won't be able to get any this year because it's so close, but it's on the agenda to adopt our budget for next year already. And I told him it would probably be next budget before we could actually give him any money. But unless we don't spend all of our budget, by the end of this budget, we might be able to round up some money, or we have left, and give him a amount, don't know the dollar amount, but we might be able to give him some at the end of the budget of this coming year, if we have any surplus.
I think you guys are like a meeting too late, because we already had to look at our budget. No one even discussed anything like this with us before we looked into our budget. Crime is everywhere. I don't think that it's just inside the city limits. I think probably a lot of it does happen there. I know at times I live inside the city limits, and I've had to call the sheriff's department because of some stuff that was going on in my area. And they told me they did not have time to come up to my area because they were going out somewhere else. I think we need to look at the crime, look at the sheriff's thing, and see if we can help them. Because as a whole county, we all need to stand
We're
behind them.
we're not opposed to helping. We
But
just,
I'd have to say before I'm willing to try to help them, they've got to be willing to put the law enforcement out there during the time when the crime takes place. At the time that they were coming to my house, or not my house, but the neighborhood, they had all of their law enforcement Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. Nobody on the weekend. So I'm sure they were busy, those two cops. The sheriff's department has got to show that they can take everybody's tax money and make it work efficiently. Because the crime does not take place 8 to 5.
Yeah.
And that's when they have their patrol officers all on duty at that time. I don't know how it is now. But our sheriff's department needs to let us all know what they want to do for the county.
Yeah.
Instead of us to do for them. Because you can't take 2 law officers and handle a whole weekend's worth of stuff that's going on. It's just not possible. But that's how they chose to run it. And I don't really want to give them money to run a law officers from 8 to 5. That's just how I feel about it.
And also, the previous sheriff, Jones, he came to this board one time,
Yeah,
and yours just changed.
yeah.
And that was at the beginning of your tenure, and we were in bad financial situation at the time, but we have paid off some loans and stuff, but as far as being approached to this board,
Nobody has said
Dennis,
anything.
that was the first thing Dennis is, whenever Dennis brought us this letter, that's the first time that we've heard since Mr. Jones.
we've been in office 3.5 years, so, and this is the first time they've ever asked us for anything. And they just come a little late. If they come about a couple months ago, we probably could have worked them in this next budget.
Well, we've been in existence 2.5 weeks with this coalition, so that we're putting everybody's feet to the fire, period. We don't care who you are, what you do. We need help in every aspect. And if it's the police department hiring people from 8 to 5 and not when we need the help, I mean, we're holding our feet to the fire for it. But we told Dennis, if you need help from the town, ask them for it. Please, do your part, we'll do ours.
And they did. It's just, this is a little,
$300,000
it's a little
is hard to
extreme, but-
swallow for what,
when
400?
it's half of our regular operating budget.
Yeah.
So,
So one cop without a car is
Without a car,
$54,000.
52,
52.
and well, I think, if I'm correct, I think we'd have to go up some on the millage rate. I don't know exactly the right dollar amount to do that
Is that a feasible option?
next budget year, yes.
When does your budget end? Sorry, I'm just trying to get
June
clarity.
30th.
June
Yes,
30th.
And that's what I told Dennis when he brought this. I said, we'll try to get it first in, but I said, but right now, we're right at fixing to adopt our budget for the next operating year.
We just done it.
Well, we're fixing to, yeah.
Have you ever thought about reserve, maybe it's like Sunday, get a reserve officer for town, get paid or something?
Well, that's basically what this is asking for.
A little cheaper probably, I know.
But I don't know about having a reserve officer where we don't have a police department. I mean, we can
Or
have
have the sheriff,
security.
we sponsor one through the sheriff or something, I know. Furnish a car, throw him a gun or something.
So what you're saying right now is it would be a whole nother year before.
Yeah. That's why I was saying it's like a meeting too late for us to even kind of look at anything.
Well, if you have a year, I think it'd be good if you looked into other means of funding as
Exactly.
well. I'm sorry to
Exactly.
say, but I'm putting my 2 cents in, but grants, you know, that
But
way
when we don't have a police department, we can't apply for such
the
grants.
county needs to then.
I'm assuming if they're available,
Yeah,
Um,
it'd be something worth looking into.
just for equipment, right?
It's mainly for equipment, but, you know, and the sheriff's department has gotten several grants this year. It's mainly been COVID response,
That's
but
what most of them
grants are a good way to leverage the money so that you can, you know, open up money for salaries. So, you know, it's all about how you budget and how you manage the funds. And, there are grants out there mainly for equipment and some overtime through the JAG. Just,
I had to buy my own equipment.
Well,
this year.
I will say that equipment
Thank
is easier to apply for than capacity building, but capacity building grants do still exist. I don't know how hard it would be for municipal government or like a sheriff's department, though. That's something I don't.
See, we'd have to reinstate the police department if we applied for it.
If you did, but the county, I wonder if you can do collaborative effort.
I don't know.
I don't know either, but it would be worth looking into for the sake of everyone.
Becky, did the sheriff's department, receive those repeaters and things that?
They just got the
They were
radios.
two different letters that I signed in, for, support for the sheriff's department. Did they get those two items that Jimmy Hyde was working on that grant for?
those were through, I think Representative Coghlan's office.
Yeah.
I know, to my knowledge, they haven't received it yet.
Okay,
But I think his folks are working on it up in DC, for special appropriations.
okay.
And that could get tied up in the budget, you know,
Mhm.
they're working on their budget, so.
Anything else on the sheriff's department?
Public
Are
hearing.
we still
Public hearing,
in public comment?
Yeah, we're still on it.
Does anyone else have anything to bring out during this public comment?
Sure, I'll bring up one thing.
Okay.
There is a large grant, federal grant, and I just wanna bring it to your attention. I would be willing to help write it, but I would need a lot of help and ideas, because I don't know what we'd use it for yet. But it's the 2021 Choice Neighborhoods Planning Grant. It's through the Department of Housing and Urban Development. The award ceiling is $450,000. The award floor is $1. You know, just but city and township governments can apply for it. It's basically, they have 3 initiatives. It's for neighborhood revitalization plans, but their 3 core goals are housing people in neighborhood. I think it would benefit for y'all to at least try to apply, and I would be willing to help write it. But we would need a plan for what we're applying for, so I can talk to you more about it in detail later.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll entertain a motion to close that comment.
So moved.
Yes.
Old business, town mode issue update. We have got the basement looking wonderful. We've got, the, Gottage World, we can go through the old records and everything now. We still got an issue that I think it's on the agenda here. It is, in reference to a little bit, a wall and a little sidewall. There's some concrete to be poured and all, that will come up here later. And, we do have the humidifier down there, and it is sucking double cupful of water out of the air and everything downstairs. The next move will be, once we can get this water where it runs off this hill here and down into the basement there in this front, room, once we can get that retaining wall and that concrete poured, we will be able to go forward with the air quality thing, mold, and then the basement will be fixed. Okay. All right, then the college thing.
So that's
Yeah, go ahead, John.
So that's town Christmas quote.
There's a quote for that
Curb
curb
sidewalk,
sidewalk.
to help divert the water from the basement steps.
Yeah.
And so that's $2,750.
That would be number 8 on it. No,
One
1,
on 14.
do we, I'll entertain a motion to have,
Do we have the funds to use the first question?
It's gonna go into the, county happen,
Because it probably won't take place to have it in the budget.
but it's gonna be in the new budget, it won't be done, they probably do it July 1st-ish, you know. This is for the new budget, it's included in there, we just didn't vote on it specifically, so.
But if that fixed the problem, because we're still retaining water inside through the door, because, then we gotta get that drain fixed down there, but other than that, I think, I would like to see at least one more quote on it
Okay.
before we proceed. I know it's hard to get quotes and some of them are so busy now, but we'll hold off until we get at least one more quote.
number 2, college drainage issue update. I've not heard nothing. Bogan been back and forth up in Virginia and down in North Carolina too, and I've not heard nothing from Miss Collins or about either one. Number 3 is the Graham County Historical Association right away
Yeah, we need to have that remain tabled.
table.
Waiting on a survey.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the survey from them.
I did notice that he was Mr. Stewart was out today doing a bunch of surveying.
So maybe he's working on it.
No.
Maybe back to us.
Any further old business come for this board today?
Look, you mentioned mine,
You're down here number 5 in new business. Entertain a motion to close the old business.
You don't have to close it.
Okay, all right. New business. Mayor update. Let y'all know, the water plant got struck by lightning again, Saturday. It knocked our signal out from the pier well to the plant, and also, some signaling down towards our first there was temperature valve at Freeman's Gas and all. Our guy that does all of our fixing, he was on vacation in Texas, so he was able to, because it was another fix that Chad he'd walked Chad through, and Chad was able to get in before we could pump the well until he gets back and all. Also, the our temperature valve itself is it's on his last leg. I tried the other day to see if we could get another rebuild kit, and I can't find one over. The last 2 that I got was from Illinois, and it's just luckily the owner answered the phone that day, and he knew some back shelf in the very back of the plant went back there and knocked off dust and everything. And I bought the last 2 that he had in his building, and he said that I can't even order them anymore. So that's another thing that the town has need to keep in their mind. Sooner or later, we don't have to have at least 2 out temperature valves coming up. We're fixing to have a inspection. The guys are out right now. Eddie he's out bush hogging our right of ways on our manholes on kind of, they don't be going manhole to manhole everywhere doing an inspection, and I'll make sure to update. report on our new hire, doing wonderful. He's, he was a +10 addition. He came in knowing how to do stuff and everything, not having to specifically train and all, but that is a wonderful asset, and he's been a wonderful asset too. And that's all I've got right now. Number 2, financial update.
Okay, so the county took over our tax collections in April of 2018. And in 2019, we were able to reduce the millage tax rate from 0.65 per $100 of asset of your value to 60 cents per 100. And with the current collection at the end of May, we are at tax collection of 97.13%. Since I've been here, I've not seen this collection for our taxes. It's good. This is wonderful. It would make sure that we're very happy. Anything above 97 is a real good collection rate. And it is my hope that we'll be able to start making necessary changes to increase the collection rate for the water and sewer. Like I mentioned last month, we have our collection rate for water and sewer at 94%. So we want to make some steps to try to increase that, because the last thing we would want to do is to have to raise the water and sewer rates for the 94% of the people who are paying on time just for the 6% that are paying late or we're not paying our bills at all. It's the first of the month, and I do not have your finance update because I've not completed all the reckonings. We had a holiday this week, so your update will be for the next month. I will bring it to you.
Okay. Y'all have anything for us, finance officer? Thank you, son.
Okay.
Number 3, National Opiate Settlement. Ms. Becky Garland, you have the floor.
Thank you. Let's get straight right here, if that's okay. Okay, I'd like to give a copy of this information to the Alder council members, as well as the county attorney. There you are. So, early spring, late winter of 2020, I received a phone call from Kevin Leonard. He's the executive director of the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. Previous to that, all 100 counties representatives had met in Raleigh, I believe, in reference to the National Opioid Settlement. So this is a very timely topic. They requested that I sit on a committee, stakeholder committee, and we call it the 555 committee. It was 5 county managers. Of course, I'm not county manager anymore. Thank you. 5 county attorneys and 5 county commissioners. And so we were beginning to hammer out what was going on the national level with the opioid settlement. If you're not already familiar, pretty much every state in the union has sued the big 3 pharmaceutical companies for pushing pills. And specific counties had also signed on to the legislation. In North Carolina, I believe there's about 12 counties signed on individually. And so our Attorney General's office began working with the National Council on this settlement. And the National Council said, okay, we can have every county in the union to file their own individual lawsuits, or each state can file a lawsuit on behalf of the counties. And the counties that's already sued us can also be at the table, but the easiest and best way is to deal with 50 folks on a settlement, 50 attorney generals, as opposed to many attorneys. At this point, it's looking like the national settlement is gonna be about $26 billion. And of that part, North Carolina will participate in $850 million, which will be divvied out between all of the counties in North Carolina, whether you're litigating or non-litigating. And then there's also about 13 municipalities, the big ones like Charlotte, Winston-Salem, Raleigh, those folks. And the settlement will look like there'll be money provided over an 18-year period. So they're not looking at a quick fix, they're looking at long-term strategies to help with this, I call it this pandemic, because it's not just an epidemic, it's a pandemic. So to begin with, long story dull, the Attorney General came back to the 555 committee and said, well, it looks like we're going to get the $26 billion over 18 years. And the state of North Carolina will get like 80%, and the counties and municipalities will get about 10%, and 5% will go to this fund. And I'm just going to be blunt. As a finance officer, I said, not no, but heck no. That's not how it's going to be. Because, and I asked the question, why do they feel like it needs to all go to the state? And they said, well, we can manage the money better.
Okay.
So I began the process of educating the 555 committee of all the levels of internal controls that that local governments, all of the statutory requirements that local governments have in place, and all of the oversight that local governments have in place. So after basically over a year's period of time, we wrote a white paper, what we call a white paper. And we demonstrated to the Attorney General's office that local governments, number one, the problem does not happen in Raleigh. You know, there is an opioid epidemic in Raleigh, and what I'm talking about is administration. You don't fix a problem, a drug problem, or any problem on the state level or the national level. It has to be grassroots driven. That's why I'm so excited about this group that's formed. It has to be at the grassroots level, and so if the money's sitting in Raleigh and it has to be competitive, and you have to compete for grants, what is the chance for a small county like Grant County to be able to get any piece of the pie? And so what we worked out was that 80% would go to the local governments, 15% would go to the state for administration, and 5% would go into what they call a contingency fund, where there would be some money there that would be competitive. And so, so that's what the Attorney General came back, and I spent probably 3 hours one morning educating his staff about how local government finance works, and they got it. And so that is the deal that they're coming back to the table with. And I feel like we've been following other states, and I feel like North Carolina's probably got the best deal going in order to get things rolling. They're going to provide the money to the counties based on a formula. And the formula hasn't quite been worked out, but it'll be probably somewhat population-based. But also it will look at how many prescriptions have been pushed into these counties for opioids. How many, all these pill mills. And what's the use and that type of thing. So the very preliminary numbers I'm seeing is about $100,000 a year will come into Grant County. That don't sound like a whole lot, but it's more than we've been getting. And basically what they're looking at is, and this is why this is so timely, this group that has formed is so exciting, because they want to look at it from a collaborative planning perspective, so that people who are stakeholders who have been affected by this will have a role in how this money is spent. So the money won't just evaporate into the general fund of Grant County. It'll be restricted money, and then there'll be a lot of planning as to how that $100,000 can be used. It can go toward recovery efforts. It can go towards methadone treatment. It can go toward, like we got a recovery and work program already rolling, helping people who are in recovery to find jobs, to find housing. And it'll be good, what I call leverage money with other funders like the Dogwood Trust, who they just poured $470,000 into this county for affordable housing. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, and I want to say this, they are excited about what's going on in Greene County. So it's going to be a collaborative approach, and it's going to be something that we can truly put our finger on and say this money is to help with this problem. Now, if you attended the commissioner meeting a couple of weeks ago, you probably saw on the agenda that the commissioners were going to pass a resolution in support of the settlement that the Attorney General is going to come back to the National Council with. They're asking all 100 counties and all municipalities to sign on. The smaller municipalities like Town of Robbinsville don't have to file their own resolution. I finally got that word today. They just have to sign and co-sign our memo. And so I'm asking the town board, and I'll be going to the Santigua and Fontana board meetings as well, to agree to sign onto this memo. I won't give you the flip side, because with every upside there's a downside. If we fail to come back, if North Carolina fails to come back to the national settlement with all 100 counties and municipalities signing on, then the National Council can say, we don't have to do business with you at all. And guess what? Other states will get our money. So it's really important for the good work that's getting ready to go on in this county for all 100 counties and all the municipalities, on how many they are in North Carolina, to sign on to this agreement. So that's why I'm here, and I'm sorry I was long and drawn out, but I wanted to give you a good background as to what's going on. Because I know you've probably heard it on the news about the opioid settlement on what's going on here in North Carolina.
Absolutely.
You put that in the form of
To sign off on this municipality.
I'll second.
All in favor?
And I appreciate it. I think it's going to be some good things happening in this county, and this is just the beginning of what we do. All right, thank you. I'm going to run back to my budget home. Y'all have a good day. Thank you. Good to see y'all.
Did you hear anything from the store? Okay, we'll just skip number 4 there right now. Mr. Darrell Flower, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. I'm here to represent golf cart licensing in the city of Robbinsville. We've got it down where I come from, Catawba County, Lincoln, and everything. It worked real well. I got the information to the mayor. Tag, whatever is, I made sure they was inspected. They was. Police every year got a sticker and put the proper equipment on it. We didn't have no problem, didn't have no more. Started maybe 20, but got down to maybe 10.
Well,
In the city.
Do you remember who that was? It was Cameron was talking about maybe opening another place, or if it was a person about people that this person was gonna buy 8 or 10 golf carts or something, and if there was a resolution, if the town had a resolution for golf carts. No.
So, Mr. Slaughter, you're wanting to make them street legal? Is what you're looking
Yes.
at?
Yes, I'll help any way, I know law. I've worked in law enforcement for 30 years.
You need to do a resolution. I mean, it's a detail from municipality.
Yeah.
Permit golf carts.
Just on
And
city
I think-
streets, or
You're allowed golf carts.
is it just gonna be on city streets, Ellen, or will that include the state maintained roads inside the city limits?
That's something I think.
You can get them on main, but you gotta go through the state and get them registered.
So now we're just looking at city streets.
The city, this is all city.
State, 'cause that's state road out there.
Right.
Yeah, you need the state, and it's okay, the districts here, it can be co-op.
Well, we'll just do some more research and we'll follow up with you and see what.
Need anything, just call.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Josh Fields.
Down at our business at Hometown Tax, for the last 2 years, we've had very low water pressure and the issue's not been resolved. We did everything on our end because the first idea is that it's on our side of the valve. So we've done everything on our end to troubleshoot, replace regulators. We hired Doug Hooper and Harvey C to troubleshoot everything that they could on their end, even all the way to tying in directly to the valve itself. And it's still the same problem of immediate high pressure, but then significant drop
The
in
under us
pressure.
are older 2-inch line, that's correct.
Yeah, I think at that valve it cuts off on old 129 and it drops down to a smaller line.
There is a solution.
And so and we worked with, and Harvey worked with Chad, and Chad replaced that valve and.
Replace the meter,
Okay,
the water meter.
Okay, yes.
The water meter's been replaced two times.
yeah, and that didn't fix the problem, and then since then, it's just been an issue with Chad having the time to do it, because his solution was to tie into the main line that goes on the bypass. And go, yeah, and then go direct over, and he's just this has been since last year, and he's just not had the time to do that.
It's been over a year.
Yeah,
And I do know too, they was speculating there because you've got a 3/4 inch line coming to feed it to the meter.
mhm.
And they said, well, hold a second, it might be losing pressure whenever it reduces down that 5/8 going through the meter. And I do know that Chad and them, they straight piped to see if this 3/4 straight would. And from what Chad has told us, is that old line it will not pressurize your top filter.
And it's not even the upstairs. They can't even shower. There's no pressure, but it's even at like the
At
bottom
that office,
level,
yeah.
like out of the spigot and stuff. Even at the meter, it's like it takes minutes for the commode to refill. You can't wash your hands while you flush the toilet. And it's just been a very long time.
And one thing too, Chad says it's about 12 to 15 foot deep coming from the 12 inch that runs up to the front and tying up the asphalt slowly going through there, because once it goes down 15 foot, I think the ditch is gonna have to be 20 foot wide on your step bank and all. And we just, last meeting, we tried to hire 2 people. Out of the 2 people, one wanted the job, one didn't. And we have been short-handed heavily. And that's not George's fault, it's ours. He does have that, matter of fact, last week he was talking, we've got a brand new backhoe coming. Got a bigger arm on it and everything, longer arm and all. And Chad has got that to do. Matter of fact, last week he was thinking about going down and starting digging some out to see down there at the lower end where there's some regular dirt there that we could shoot maybe and not tear up as much asphalt and all, and it was raining. So,
Yeah, last week they come and saw it,
yeah.
the asphalt. Now, I just would like to say, we are not upset with Chad one bit. He has been very, very good at staying in communication with Josh. Anytime Josh has called, he's responded right away. And so we're not here as mad or upset or anything like that, but we have to get this problem resolved. It's just been going on just too long, and so we didn't know what else to do.
Well,
we're not here tattling on Chad.
I know that. And Chad has not started there either too, because he spoke to me and we sat down on the proposal for you all, rather than just coming with a 3/4 inch. Me and him have just done, you might as well, be tearing up some of the US 129. Is to bring a 2 inch from the 12 inch over to, and that way, because there's property down below you that could be built on. And why tire up 2 or 3 times, getting water whenever you have ample supply right there? And that's one of the things, cause it's as cheap to run the 2 inches as it is 3/4, because you got your ditch and everything up. And also, that is one thing that he is going to do. He's gonna have you there's gonna be an oversized line over there, but it's going to be where you'll have direct pressure. As far as saying they could start tomorrow, it's, that's all I know about it.
Well, all we're asking is for us to be put on priority. That's all we're asking. I mean, we're not looking for,
They go ahead and get it fixed.
but, I mean, Josh is kind of representing the hometown and I'm the owner of the building. And I just, it's just it's more frustrating for the girls than it is for us, because they like to wash their hands more than we do.
Okay. All right, well, that is on the front burner.
I appreciate it.
All right.
I appreciate you coming in. Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna slip out because I'm on a job somewhere.
Say, Jeff.
Okay, number 7, road improvement quotes. We have 3 proposals from AMC Paving out of Bryson City. The first one being proposal for doing capping Ward Street.
Gormer Street and Dodge Street.
Ward Street being estimated amount of $25,440. Second quote is from the curve to the top of Gormy Street for an amount of $11,600. And then Godfrey Street, it'd be an amount of $16,760.
Yeah, I mean, there's other paving companies I'd like to get more quotes on before we proceed.
Yeah.
But I do appreciate Chad getting these quotes for us. And we'll check with, there's a couple other paving companies I'd like to get at least another quote before
Okay,
we.
fine. Okay, next one, customer late credit. I've got Mr. Jerry Farley. He's had 3 major leaks. He's had 2, he was off working, and his wife got somebody to come up there and kind of try to fix. And what they fixed broke again, and then it finally broke again here. And what Mr. Farley's requesting is for a late credit, another late credit to be granted him. He seems to think everything is fixed. And Susan Farley has used a total of 2 allotted late credits, and is requesting a credit on the May billing, which is $774.73. If an additional credit is approved, the bill would be reduced to $145.64. What would be the will of the board?
When was their last credit?
Let me look at it.
It's in your phone.
Okay.
All that.
So you see
Yeah, I
that
found
that she had her toilet repaired and so that was, it took up her 2 credits. And for some reason, however they did the plumbing, it exploded. And so she just needed a 3rd credit. But
Okay, they've had one in January and then the one in April. Okay,
And they're very secure that they got the problem fixed now.
yes.
I'd be for giving them a credit.
is that
Okay,
motion?
motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to give them a credit.
I'll second.
It's unanimous.
Okay. Grace Place request. And, there you got a handout there. What they're requesting is, requesting
$7,500.
to allow,
This is to help operate and support the new emergency food pantry that's going to be located at 300 Fatima Road.
Oh, it's a new food pantry,
Yes,
other than the one that's up on
it shut down, yeah.
So the one at Christ Church is shut down.
No, the other one,
The food pantry.
the
the
food
county-
bank, the food bank actually shut down in Tallulah.
Yeah.
Can I say something
Yeah.
really quick? I spoke to her about, just so you are informed, if we don't get the food pantry reinstated, we lose Mana Food Bank coming to Brown County. And then in turn, Mana loses their funding for our county. So it's like a domino effect.
She wanted y'all to know that they have given out 20,000 boxes of food and they have fed 30,000 meals. And so, you know, we didn't include this in the budget, but we could do a budget.
Could do some of it.
Be able to save or something.
And she's wanted in this current budget or,
Either one.
I mean, we'll help what we can, but we'll just have to see what we got left in our funds. I don't want to commit to something exactly right now, but we will support it. May not be up to that amount. We'll just have to see what we got.
Okay.
At
When
a
does
later-
she need the deadline, Sonia?
December. No, they closed December 6th. There's no date on here.
I don't see a deal on it. She mentioned to me, you know, I need you to get back with me by.
But I'll,
Well, I'll make a motion that we, go ahead and grant $2,000 to it. And then we can see how it goes from that.
I'll see how the June budget is, you know, after I do those bank recs, and if we could take it from somewhere, we could do a bank, if we need to, a budget amendment, go in this current budget, you know, we're gonna have to check in June if anybody seconds that.
I'll second that, David. And then if we get into any more extra funds throughout the next year, we might be able to do the rest of it.
And then we gotta look at, you know, the Phillips's issue that they just brought to us,
Yeah.
but we also gotta look at this too. We can't just leave it.
Unanimous?
Okay. This time I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2021-2022 budget.
Okay, of the proposed budget that we sell on table for 10 business days, we made a few adjustments for some insurance, quotes for medical insurance, so that reduced our roads to 74,249, and in general fund and water sewer, it increased our fund balance amount. We'll take out a savings for 63,719. Hopefully we won't have to use that, but just to make this budget work, because it has to balance,
We had to lower the amount we're gonna put in roads and increase the amount that we're gonna take out of savings.
And that's all it's changed from.
That's all it changed.
That's all.
Motion to approve the town of Robbinsville budget 21-22.
I'll second that.
And I'd like to, also do a separate holidays, or just say that the holiday schedule is included with that ordinance. Or just do a separate vote for the
It says
holidays.
approved on acceptance of the voted on here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, okay,
It was already, we done that with it, right?
Yeah. It is
Okay.
attached to it. Okay.
Water sewer ordinance, this year is the town Robbinsville water sewer shut off and late fees amendment to municipality owned utilities ordinance, chapter 6, section 13 of the code of ordinance. Whereas the town of Robbinsville acknowledges that the town is regulated by the North Carolina Treasury Department, which requires the town to collect water and sewer fees for all usage. All accounts 2 months past due will be disconnected without prior notice. If full payment is made, the service will not be disconnected. No phone calls will be made or disconnection letters sent to ensure that all customers are treated equally. The water and sewer department will print and report for all 2 months past due on the 26th of each month, and that will be the shut-off list. Payment received after the 25th will not remove the customer from the shut-off list. The customer will still be responsible for all fees. Section 2, reconnection will require payment of the total bill. In addition to the customer must pay a reconnection fee of $55 and $150 deposit, or an additional $50 to deposit if they have already a $150 deposit on account. Section 3, all accounts past due will be charged a $15 late fee per month. It is the town's policy to consider any account late if not received in town hall by the 25th of each month or the next business day if the 25th falls on a holiday or weekend. No postmark dates will be considered. Now therefore be it resolved, the town council of Robbinsville approves this amendment to the ordinance and it shall become effective when adopted. I'll entertain a motion to adopt this resolution.
Make a motion to approve.
I'm gonna second that.
I'm gonna have to oppose because of the $15 late fee.
Seal bids for the old town hall,
This is
equipment.
just actually putting up, we got no seal bids. This is just letting know that it's stuff coming up for.
Got like the fire truck.
We have an old fire truck, I don't know the year model right now, it's an old cab over, I think it's a 77 Ford. That's no longer, the fire department no longer uses it. We'll have, I think, 2 backhoes, exercise chair and some older computer equipment, a couple of TVs will be, and you just watch the paper and stuff for that, we'll have that out. It'll be for all sealed bids for those items. Once we receive our new backhoe, of course.
And that will be public there to reject any and all.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
I will publicize this as soon as we get that new backhoe down.
Yeah. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, number 13, new employee, we got thing from, Kim Chris. And, Chris had, earned 65.48 hours of sick leave
While he was with
while he was with the county.
we're still considered local government, we have the option to accept his sick leave.
What would be the will of the board?
I'm gonna make a motion that we accept his sick leave.
I'll second. I mean, he earned it, you know, might as well take it with him on the job we're on now with us. So.
Okay, American Rescue Plan Fund.
I made the
I
motion.
second.
Yeah.
Okay, so the, there is, potential for us to receive some funds, and it is a requirement. This is for American Rescue Funds. What it is a type of COVID, stimulus package in a way that the municipality is going to be able to receive. It's estimated that we will receive 95,000 this year and 95,000 next year. There's a certain way that we'll be able to spend that money that's regulated by the federal government and the state. And I'll let you all make those decisions once we receive the funds. What we're doing today, it says that the governing board must formally accept these grant funds. So the board is voting to say that yes, we would like to receive these funds.
Well, I'll make a motion.
Okay,
Second.
Unanimous.
okay.
But it's very particular on
It
what
is
you
particular, and it has to do with COVID-related items, or there are some other options like infrastructures for water and sewer. And so we'll make that decision, something estimated now. I've done the paperwork where we can receive these funds if y'all approve it, and once we get those funds, we'll let you.
Do we need to
decide
have a
how it's
letter or
gonna-
something on the letterhead
No,
statement?
I just need it in my minutes.
Okay.
Yes.
Very good.
Okay.
Okay, Town Hall terminates proposal subterranean of termites, $2,495. That's for the initial, drilling all the holes and treating the sidewalk up here, where the sidewalk comes up to treat that area, putting boxes out.
Yeah, that's
Really
just for this
good
building.
on the internal side of the building and everything. I think all that was mentioned last month too.
Yeah, let me catch Sean. We cleaned the basement and got a lot of, destroyed some of the, appropriately destroyed some records according to the state. And they noticed some termite damage, quite a bit of termite damage. And that's the reason why termites come in and going to give us a quote to try to save our building before it falls on us.
But just it's $315 a year, and that's the same thing they do at the water plant, same thing they do at the sewer plant. But the initial cost is
It come out of this budget
$2,495.
next year.
We go ahead and, let them know that we can do this as of July 1st.
So it's already in the budget, so.
It's in the new budget,
Yeah.
yes, that we just approved.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, yes.
Who's the motion?
And second.
Okay.
Okay, Muriel,
Oh, yeah, number 17, that's that, I think it should be in the very back. And this is, I guess the money would go to Greg. They're doing that mural down here on Main Street. I'm sure some of you have seen it.
It looks really good.
It's hard not to miss it. But, they are doing a complete unveiling on Friday, July the 2nd. Don't know the times or dates, or the times yet, but they are requesting $1,000 from each of the town, the RTA, the county, festivals, and the county TNT to help make a big unveiling of that event. So, and I spoke with Sonia, and she said we could, what was it,
Out of Main Street,
Out
now
of-
$1,200 left in our Main
at
Street.
the end of this year, I mean, because it ends in a couple months. I mean, ends this month, sorry, that we have a little bit excess in that we could use for this. And, hope to see everybody there when they do it.
Yeah.
did you put that in motion for $1,000?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to award them the $1,000 for that event.
I second that song.
I oppose.
Just to remind everybody, me and Sonia will be in class this month.
Yes, that's for the, sewer line grant.
Mhm.
We're going to do some training in Boone, thank goodness, because normally it's in Raleigh, but because of COVID, they were gonna divide up people.
Smaller groups.
20 per place, so we'll get to go to Boone. Made a reservation for the mayor, and I'm gonna stay at Mother's because Liv's near there, so it's a 2-day seminar.
Would you mind got extra room for Steve?
And so he's just gonna stay at the hotel. Yes.
But that,
There's a lot of guidelines we have to follow.
Yeah,
We have,
that's in order to sign up on the front.
yeah, we put this $1.7 million that we received to replace sewer lines, and we have posted, as we've been required, for administrative services and engineering. So when we get those bids back at the end, we're closing at June 30th, and I'll bring those to you to make a decision on moving forward with that project.
Is there anything for,
I don't have anything for closed session.
you have any?
No, I do not.
I'll entertain a motion to close, this June 2nd, 2021 board meeting.
Only question I have is, when is the next board meeting? Is that gonna fall on?
Let's see.
It's June.
July the 7th.
Decide on that.
July the 7th.
July the 7th.
It'll be
And
the
the
second.
4th is on that weekend before.
Yeah,
so it'll be
the first starts on that Thursday. So our next meeting will be July the 7th.
Oh, and remind everybody, Friday night dance
Yep. Starts this Friday.
So bring your taps. Come on out.
So the unveiling of that is
July the 2nd.
July the 2nd.
On that Friday. We have a 4-hour music on the square that night. And they're gonna try to tie it in, I believe, with that. And then the Heritage Festival kicks off on the 3rd that morning.
That'll be good.
Alright. We,
Need a
I make a motion to adjourn.
You want to say?
That's it. Unanimous.